Welcome back, everybody. Second half of Arena Football about to kick off, and you see the score. You saw the stats from the first half. It has been ugly. This is not the Tampa Bay Storm of old. This is not the six-time Arena Bowl champions that you're used to. The Storm have had quite a tough time here in this game. They have just been overwhelmed and overmatched at every step of the way. In week one, we had to go to overtime. Grand Rapids winning by 1 point, but we have come out against this down Tampa Bay Storm team 35-3 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So we're going to see if the Storm have a comeback in them or not. Shane Stafford is able to connect on that pass to Willis Marshall. We got a loaded house today. We got SK Money. Chaotix was here as well. We had Roll Tide join us. Alpha Sapphire was in for a moment at the beginning, was very hyped about the return of Arena Football, as we are. Dan the Legend as well in the chat, so we appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining us and being a part of the old TB Sports Bounce House. There's Dan. Thank you, Dan. Stafford under duress, and that one's going to be intercepted. Good pressure onto Shane Stafford. And a rare stop, a much-needed stop for the Tampa Bay Storm. That's Kenny McIntyre that came up with the INT. Brandon Price, quarterback for the Tampa Bay Storm. He's thrown 2 interceptions. Only mustered 3 points on the board. Our coach just got batted around there. Coach is me. That's me, Coach TB. TB Sports. From the Georgia Force to the Kansas City Brigade, now to the Grand Rapids Rampage. Brandon Price going deep down the field. Incomplete. How about the coverage? It's hard to get some of the numbers because we are, this is an older game. I think that was Todd Law. That was 89. The numbers, too, the gray numbers on the red. It's a little tough. So another third down for the Storm. Price just dumps it off to Pettis, and somehow Will Pettis, I don't know how he managed to just get through there, but somehow Will Pettis was able to pick up a first down.
First and 10. Ball on the 22-yard.
Wow, that's desperation working out to perfection for the Tampa Bay Storm. Brandon Price under pressure, and he is sacked. What number was that, 92? That was 92. That was Gillis Wilson. 93 was Joe Jacobs.
Second and 14. Ball on the 18-yard line.
But the offensive struggles of the Tampa Bay Storm, it's not often you're going to see this in Arena Football. I mean, you saw a beautiful offense with John Dutton, and it's picked off again by Fleming. His second interception for the #1 draft pick. And there you see the old ball coach, not too happy. Very famous coach for the Tampa Bay Storm. Coach with the Detroit Drive, Coach Markham, and the Tampa Bay Storm. I mean, an Arena Football legend for all the different titles he's won in Arena Football history. But he's seeing the worst of the worst right now. And Fleming answers it with another touchdown. So he answers the interception, puts it in. My God. This is, for myself, I mean, this is, I can't remember ever having a blowout quite like this. Go watch any of my games from Georgia Force to the Brigade, anything in between. Even when we were doing our Las Vegas Gladiators, when we had the 100-team season. Yeah, we did not have quite anything quite like this. I'm looking up right now, Coach Markham, Tim Markham, to see how many titles, because he won a lot of titles in his time in Arena Football. He was with the Drive from 88 to 89, and the Denver Dynamite. I think he won a title with the Denver Dynamite. And the legendary run with the Tampa Bay Storm. I know SK Money. We're going to see if the LA Avengers in the next game can put up a better fight, but this Tampa Bay Storm team is definitely overmatched. And Parker, what's going on, Parker? Parker, the Hurricane, one of our newest Patreon signups. Happy to have you. I think this might be, no, you chatted with us before. You've been with us before, but welcome back. Glad to have you here for some arena football action. We appreciate your patronage. Thank you so much for your support over at patreon.com/tbsports27. Since Parker's here, we're going to hit you with some plugs. If you want to support the channel like our good buddy Parker has done, patreon.com/tbsports27. ECW is coming up this week, as well as an episode of the XHL Legends Hockey League. So if you guys want to check that out, sign up at any level that you like on Patreon. And there it is, the first touchdown of the game for the Tampa Bay Storm. Finally getting into the end zone. Holy smokes. Tim Markham, 7-time Arena Bowl champion with an overall record of 211 wins and 99 losses. What an impressive guy he is. So this is a good chat. We have a loaded chat here today. Appreciate all you guys jumping in that have been following the action. Arena football, man, that might be the one. That might be the one that launches TB Sports. We got Dan the Legend here as well. SK Money put in the request. Well, we got a blowout here. We got a second game coming your way, so everyone stick around. I know this one's a bit of a blowout, but we got the game with the LA Avengers coming up. And we'll see if that one is more competitive. But you know what? It's good to have a blowout every so often. Shane Stafford. Oh, my goodness. Nice defense.
Incomplete pass. Marshall, the intended receiver, on the play.
Tampa Bay Storm, Will Pettis.
Ball on the 5-yard line.
They're still playing. Those Storm players, I mean, they could have folded, right? Looking at the scoreboard, these Tampa Bay Storm players could have folded. Here comes the pressure. Stafford. Oh, and another interception. Back-to-back interceptions thrown by Shane Stafford. And you give credit to the Tampa Bay Storm because that's twice that they've put pressure onto Shane Stafford and forced an interception. Holy smokes. Wow. Parker, as soon as you come in, I don't know, is it like the hurricane and the storm, some kind of bad weather connection there? As soon as you come in the chat, my friend, here comes the Tampa Bay Storm making a run. Man, that's the key. You get Shane Stafford under pressure, and he's tossed 2 interceptions here under duress. Brandon Price, plenty of time, and it's intercepted. Going back the other way, Ford, who's had a number of touchdowns in this ball game, on the ground, now getting one through the air. Well, not a touchdown, but an interception. Lonnie Ford, Tim Markham, not happy at all. And SK Money, who's a new viewer for Arena Football, was asking about why do they have 400-pound linebackers as running backs, and I kind of explained how Arena Football works. Well, there you see it right there. Ford comes in, gets the interception on defense. There it is again, the pressure on to Shane Stafford, and the quarterback sack. That's going to be Adrian Harris that gets the sack for the Tampa Bay Storm. But you see it right there. Ford comes in, gets the interception on defense, and then goes right back on offense on the running game. So that's how they do it in Arena Football. Iron Man football. Shane Stafford is able to connect with Willis Marshall, but Tampa Bay Storm now. They're, how about them, right? Trying to make this comeback happen. Be an absolutely wild comeback. They still got a long way to go. What would have helped is scoring off of that turnover and not giving it. Oh my God, are you kidding me? What a catch by Fleming. He's had some big, big performances today. Not only the 5 catches for 84 yards, but the 2 interceptions as well. Holy smokes. Stafford. Oh, that was dangerous. Tried to sneak that one into Hawkins.
At the end of the third quarter, the score is
Yeah, no kidding, Parker. That was insane.
Tampa Bay 10.
End of the third quarter, 42-10. Still very much in control, the Grand Rapids Rampage here, but Stafford's got to get a little careful with the football. He's been kind of reckless, if I do dare say, with the football here. And he's got Marshall, touchdown, Rampage. That may seal the deal on this one as Willis Marshall brings it in. And Grand Rapids, I don't know if the comeback's happening now. Tampa Bay tried. They sure did. They did not give up, but the offense certainly did not help out the defensive efforts. Brian Schmitz with the extra point. It's good. As a reminder, LA Avengers game coming up next, so don't go anywhere. We got one more game coming your way, a doubleheader.
Back to return.
Schmidt boots this one away. And Leverson up to the 10. You still out there, SK Money, or did he bail on us? Where's SK Money at? We might have to hit him up.
At the 10-yard line. First and 10.
That's pretty much been the go-to guy, has been Shelley for the Tampa Bay Storm.
Ball on the 15-yard line.
I mean, the season average, you can see it's not much better. 17 is the average, 10 points here in this one for the Storm. So as we said, it is definitely not the Tampa Bay Storm team of old, you know, not your classic Tampa Bay Storm. But they're going to try to come in and get one more score on the board, or maybe a couple, we'll see. They would love to get a couple more scores before this one ends. Brandon Price. Man, just either he can't find anyone open or just not making the smart throws, because he really is just gunning that one right to where there's all kinds of coverage on the outside. And you can see the season average for the Grand Rapids Rampage on defense after we gave up 63 points in week 1. Pettis catches that one off the boards. So how about that by Will Pettis? So after giving up 63 points in week 1 to the Columbus Destroyers and having to go to overtime, we held the Tampa Bay Storm to 10, but as you saw, their average of 17 points, that's pretty much right where it should be for the Storm. Touchdown, Tampa Bay Storm, Jason Shelley.
Touchdown, Storm.
So the Storm continue the fight, and you imagine they're going to go for the onside kick here. So Price will hold, and Kevin McDowell on for the extra point. The lefty gets it right through the pipes, and here comes your onside kick, which the Grand Rapids Rampage came up short. They came up short on the onside kick in week 1 and ended up almost costing them the game. So let's see what happens here, and Marshall is going to recover that one. What's your favorite arena football team, Parker? Did you grow up watching arena football, or you getting excited for the third try that they're going to be coming back, giving another run? Stafford. Grosh, we haven't seen much of Grosh. He had a big game in week 1 against the Columbus Destroyers, but here, so far in this one, has been held quiet, but Fleming has been doing his thing for sure. Look at the stats, just one-sided stat book here in this one. Stafford pitching out to Fleming, trying to cut inside. Will Pettis doing a nice job with the stop there. Third and goal, Rampage looking to break the 50-point mark here. Stafford. Oh, it's caught by Grosh, but it's going to be 4th down. Wow. And again, they got the pressure on Shane Stafford. Grand Rapids, they're going to go for it on 4th and goal, up by like 40 points. So they figure, why not here? Stafford. Could not find anybody open and takes a sack by Matt Kissinger. And the Tampa Bay Storm get a stop. Well, you're starting to see some stuff on tape, at least for maybe the opposing defenses here in the future, as if, you know, Shane Stafford, maybe if you can get him uncomfortable in the pocket, things start to fall apart, mistakes start to happen. And Ford, or Price rather, he's going to get that one out there to David Saunders, who reels that one in. Not good numbers on the day for one Brandon Price. 4 interceptions, which means 4 stops, which is a lot in arena football. We talked about in week 1 when we were kind of running the rules by with SK Money, because it was his first time with arena football, and kind of telling him, like, if you get 1 or 2 stops in arena football, that's basically a win. You know, that's basically a victory. Oh, and a quarterback sack. The fact that we have 4 stops, 4 interceptions, and not only that, but we've stopped the Tampa Bay Storm a bunch of times outside of that. So it's just been a combination of both of those things. Yeah, it's not been good for the Storm. Price, though, has an open Shelley, and it's going to be a first down. Dan the Land, Dan the Legend. Danny, have you ever seen anything like this in arena football? Like this blowout? I mean, I guess there's been blowouts. I've seen some arena football blowouts in my day. I watched a lot of the LA Kiss games, and they got blown out a lot. Touchdown, Tampa Bay Storm. So we were thinking shutout. Tampa Bay Storm put some points on the board. Jason Shelley has had a nice game, and you got the 1-minute warning. They're about halfway back in this, right? Let's see, 28-35. They're down 4 touchdowns, and they got the field goal here. It almost seems impossible, but for arena football, especially when you get some of those 1-minute timing rules, if you can go quick, 4 touchdowns, that can happen. Absolutely. Onside kick. It is recovered by Jacobs, and that should just about do it for the Tampa Bay Storm. Now we got to get some forward progress here. Joe Jacobs, credit with the recovery. We've got to get ourselves some forward progress, or else the clock's going to stop. That's the rule. That's the arena football rule here. Fleming, I think he got it.
Fleming, the ball carrier, gain of 2 on the play.
They did good, so we're going to, more time is going to wind down here.
2nd and 7.
And Corey Fleming going to be named your MVP. We'll look at his numbers at the end. So we can run about 15 more seconds off the clock here. And then up next, we got the LA Avengers coming to town. Michael Bishop, who, that was our quarterback, right? With the Brigade. Oh, that's going to be a huge loss of yards.
Fleming with the carry. Loss of
So it'll be nice to see him again. I'm pretty sure he's our quarterback. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong.
Ball on the 16-yard line.
But Michael Bishop and the LA Avengers up next. Ford, there's your first down and more. That'll wind down the clock, and you get about 20 seconds to come off of this thing. About a 5-second difference, so I think you run around Shane Stafford, try to kill those last 5 seconds, and then heave it up and call it a victory for the Grand Rapids Rampage. Oh, the clock. Wait a minute. Did they call a timeout? I wasn't even looking at the clock. Oh, my God. Oh, a fumble. Come on. Did they call a timeout? I guess they did. I didn't even realize they called a timeout.
Ball on the 13-yard line.
I'm just sitting here thinking, okay, the play clock's going to wind down, and I'll have 5 seconds to play around with. I didn't even notice the clock wasn't running. Brandon Price, well, that's not going to do it. Right? That is not going to get the job done. And they take their second timeout there. Thank you very much, Parker. Hopefully we can keep this going, move to 3-0. We got one more game coming up here. And Price is sacked. A little horse collar action right there. But that is going to do it. Joe Jacobs, who recovered the onside kick, coming in with the sack. The Storm take their final timeout here. And they're going to continue to try to get one more touchdown on the board, but their efforts are falling short, and it's tipped incomplete. So they get one final chance at it here. They'll get one final heave down the field, but it's not going to matter in the end. We can start prepping for LA. Oh, what are they doing? SK Money, welcome back. We got SK Money, and we got Patreon members Parker and Dan the Legend in the house. Yes, sir. I hope Bobby can figure out that keyboard. I don't know. The AI in this game is wild. I honestly don't remember it being this bad, but now we're 2 for 2 games of the AI doing really stupid stuff. I don't know what good a field goal does right there for Tampa Bay, and they're just going to boot it out. So it was a waste of time. Yes, the bounce house. We're about to bounce Tampa Bay out of the bounce house, and we're hopefully going to bounce the Avengers out of the bounce house as well. Dominant performance. I would say we did slow down a little bit in the second half. Some more mistakes did creep up because it was like pure domination, and we only ended up with like 2 more touchdowns. There you go. That's going to wind down the clock. Ladies and gentlemen, the Grand Rapids Rampage, as this one ticks down, is going to move to 2-0 on the year with the win over the Tampa Bay Storm.
That's the end of the game. The final score is Grand Rapids 49, Tampa Bay 27.
Appreciate you, Dan. Thank you so much. Let's get some celebration going.
Please drive all safely.
Oh, yeah. A lot to work on for the Tampa Bay Storm. There you can see the numbers for your player of the game, Corey Fleming. I don't know, did he really have -4 yards rushing? I guess. They don't show his defensive numbers. 5 catches, 84 yards, and a touchdown, but 2 interceptions, including a pick 6. That's big business. Couple of scores here from week number 2 in Arena Football. An overtime victory. The Predators knocking off the New Orleans Voodoo in a low-scoring battle for Arena Football, 33-27. The Nashville Cats defeat Columbus. So Columbus in another shootout, just like they were with us in week 1. But Nashville, 68 points. They move to 2-0. Columbus might be one of the best 0-2 teams out there. The New York Dragons, they go to 1-1 with the victory over the Chicago Rush. The Rattlers dominate like we did. They knock off the Austin Wranglers 64-28 in a close battle. The Dallas Desperados move to 2-0 against the Utah Blaze. The Avengers, it's a battle of the undefeateds coming up in week 3. The Avengers with the win over the Philadelphia Soul. Colorado Crush go to 2-0. The Georgia Force, who are in back-to-back Arena Bowls, starting off this one 0-2. The SaberCats as well, who's played in 2 of the last 3 Arena Bowls. Your defending Arena Bowl champions find themselves starting off 0-7 here. So week 3 coming up. We won't look at the standings yet because there's not really much to look at, but it's the LA Avengers and the Grand Rapids Rampage. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, we're going to end this episode here, but we tell you to come on back tomorrow because you got undefeated coming up, 2-0 versus 2-0. If you're watching live with us on Twitch or if you're watching the replay on Patreon, stay right where you are because in a couple moments, Grand Rapids and LA is kicking off week number 3.